We're igniting a shitstorm today on Light Bars and Lockers. What's up, everyone? Paul from GP Offroad & Co. And as always, I'm joined by my two co-hosts. We've got Ryan Stoangi from Combat Offroad and Tim Rogers from TMR Customs. And today, we're talking about the spare tire. Do we need to delete it? Should we be installing a HD tire carrier? What's your opinion? Tell us below. We know everyone has one, just like an ass. We want to hear about yours. Not your ass. We want to hear about your thoughts on the spare tire. As always, thank you for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, smash it if that's your thing. Hit the bell so you're notified of any upcoming shows as they're released. And hey, if you're listening in your Jeep, thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you, each and every single week. So yeah, let's just get into it. Let's talk about spare tires. All right, everybody, welcome to another show of Light Bars and Lockers. Really appreciate you dropping by today. As always, my two co-hosts, we have Ryan Stoangi from Combat Offroad and Tim Rogers from TMR Customs. How's it going, guys?
Good, man. You?
Yeah, you know, living the dream over here.
Looks good. You look fresh.
Yeah, you know, I a little shave, added 10 pounds to the body, to the face there. So
it's all camera, bud. That's what happens.
That's right. That's what they say, right? Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Awesome. Tim, what's going on? How's the Gladiator?
It's been good. Actually used it as a pickup truck a couple times, pick up some tires, picked up a barbecue this week. So it's kind of funny coming from an F-250 to that in terms of like the bed's got some space. I mean, it's useless compared to a full-size pickup, but I mean, when it comes to like the little shit, if you want to hit Home Depot, Lowe's, pick up some stuff to do a home project, or like I said, I went and picked up a barbecue from a family member and moved it. I mean, it works mid for that kind of stuff. So day to day, it's still more fun. It's still a more fun vehicle to drive, I find, than through a quarter ton or a 1-ton pickup. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. And then we've been working a lot of early mornings and late nights to get our race vehicle ready, because we got our first TMR Race Series event here in a couple weeks. So It's been a lot of like double shifts, work the day, go home, feed some kids, put in a bed, and then come back for a few hours. It's amazing what you can get accomplished though when it's just you in the shop and no one in your ear. So yeah, it's been good.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. I hear that for sure. I know. I've been because the whole COVID things and kids are home and what have you. So I got to start at 6 because I can get from 6 to 9 like 3 solid hours of work done, which it's amazing, right? It's like you get in those 3 hours, I get twice as much done as I do in the following 6, because every 5 minutes I've got someone coming in going, I need this, I need that, or watch me do my push-ups or whatever it is, right? So, yeah, Ryan, what's been going on, man? How's things?
It's good. Like our retail stuff, like Offroad Addiction's pretty busy that way, and got a lot of stuff. We opened the showroom, so walk-in traffic's obviously wild in comparison, and our phones, our emails, our social, everything's really ramping up that way. And then the combat stuff, same difference. We're getting a lot of activities, and we got some people are still doing events and stuff, and we're trying to support them the best way we can. Regardless, we're not going to be on site for those. But yeah, just kind of going, plugging away at the Jeep. We got on the ground, we put on the ramp, we did some rough cuts and of the inner fenders and all that fun stuff. And it looks pretty good. It's pretty funny to look at, like in the sense where I just can't believe how big the damn thing is. And, but yeah, it's, the ground clearance is hilarious. It looks like it's got portals on it. Right. Before on there, but nice. Yeah, that's it, man. Just kind of plugging away and trying to get some stuff done. And we're looking at another space for some manufacturing, like local to us, trying to purchase it. So we're working on that little deal. And yeah, man, just always fill my plate up bigger than I should, but that's okay. Whatever you're supposed to do, right?
Right, that's right. Absolutely. Tim, where's the first TMR event?
So it's in Minden, Ontario at a off-road park called Race Place. Race there. Yeah, we've been wheeling there. It's a pretty cool park where they've got trails. I know Ryan's been there a ton too. So yeah, our first race of the year is there, and then we're going back there as well in September for a second one. So yeah, looking forward to getting that. We can't have obviously any spectators of that. It's just going to be racers on site. I mean, everyone's going to have a helmet on, so we're pretty pretty socially distanced, wearing a helmet and being in your car. But it'll be a little bit different because we won't have like a driver's meeting on site. We won't have awards afterwards. It's basically going to be bare bones, race, go home. We'll post the results and whatnot after, but it's still going to be fun to get out and use these projects.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Are you going to do? Is there going to be any sort of filming or anything like that, so we can watch some of the footage afterwarars? I suspect. But
yeah, I would think so. That's not something I want to dip my toe in because I've got enough shit going on. But yeah, hopefully someone's going to get some footage. I know at the very least there'll be some photos and whatnot of results and what happened. And yeah, hopefully get people inspired to keep building their projects and get out and use them.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I saw some stuff on social media. It looks like a lot of fun. So cool. Ryan, I like that shirt, man. I got to say, is that combat? It's pretty sick, man. I like it. I'm a fan. Nice.
Great. Well, I'll get you one.
Okay, there you go. Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, guys, this week we are talking about tire carriers. The idea of a spare tire delete versus an HD tire carrier. As always, and hey, if you're watching this, we have a new way for you to reach out to us via text message. So if you have a question, text us at 1-716-209-3576. We'll put the number below, but again, 716-209-3576. Just text hello, and it'll walk you through a couple steps so that we can get your number. And yeah, feel free to ask us some questions. It's also a great way to sort of communicate with us, when we're not doing the show. Yeah, texting. It's sort of a new platform for us, the new way to communicate, but it's a little bit more one-on-one. Yeah, you'll get us directly. So any questions, send it that way. All right, cool. So I saw this in the news and wanted to ask your opinion, but what do you guys know about the Mahindra Roxor? Have you guys ever seen one of these things?
The tire?
Yeah, no, the off-road vehicle thing.
Don't call it a Jeep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, don't call it a Jeep. You'll be in shit.
Right?
Yeah, they're pretty rad. They're basically a side-by-side that looks like a Jeep. They got a small little diesel motor under it. I'm pretty sure they got Dana 44s, which is legit for a vehicle that size. They're leaf sprung. It'd be cool if one could go on the road. That'd be phenomenal. They can't. They're just a side-by-side. But, I mean, if you had a farm or a property or to use one as a utility vehicle, I think they'd be fun as all hell. Jesse Haynes, which is like a world-class rock crawler, he ran one at King of the Hammers, and he actually won his class this year, which is hilarious because the thing's underpowered, it's under-suspended. Dude can flat-out drive and just knows the proper race pace and what it'd take to finish, but a lot of people were, chirping that thing online, saying, you got no fucking chance at winning because people are bringing much bigger guns to that knife fight. But yeah, I don't know. It was kind of cool to see something different and shake shit up, and I think show that driver skill kind of still reigns supreme over vehicle generally.
Yeah, I saw one at SEMA when they had their display on the outdoor by the Ford track there. Did you see that? Did you walk out there?
Yeah,
they had them in the 60s and stuff. Somebody built one up pretty good. I don't know whose it was. It was white, but it was pretty neat. Me and Nate were walking around and looking at it. Nice. But they're pricey, though. You know what I mean? No, I guess they're in the side realm, though, price point wise. But I guess it just depends on your uses. You know what I mean? And I don't know, who's to say if you just don't find an old CJ5 and rip the Vintegs off and rivet them back on and put some plates on it? You know what I mean? I'd do it. I'd go for it and see what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, no, I was reading about how it was blocked, and I do know, sort of who they are and what they are, but I've never actually seen one in person, so I was curious. Awesome. All right. Well, cool. Well, tire delete discussion. Let's start with let's talk about the benefits versus drawbacks of the tire delete. Or let's go with just general overall opinion. Ryan, why don't we start with you? What's your opinion on the idea of running a spare versus not running a spare? And I know it depends on the situation, but let's just go. If you were to build, the JL, for example, are you throwing a 41.5 on the back, or are you just going to go with the delete?
I'm gonna run our delete because it just changes the look of the vehicle. Aesthetically, changes it. Visibility. If you don't have that giant tire in the way, you can see what's going on. If you're in town, a lot of daily drivers, most of the Jeeps people own, they're gonna keep them as their main vehicle. And a lot of people could have like AAA or CAA. So if you did get a flat, you just give them a call. They'll get you roadside. You know what I mean? So there's those types of benefits if you just want to change the look and stuff. If you really feel like you need to spare, like if you're going overlanding or you want to go out on a big trail run the whole day, it would make sense to bring your spare tire. At the very least, like a tire repair kit. You know what I mean? Like if we don't run our spare, actually I have a tire repair kit anyways in all the Jeeps. But yeah, just if you want to change it up a bit, you know, it lightens up the gate. That's where the last transfer of energy is on your spare tire. So if you have too big a tire and you're just on that body metal, and it's only 3 points, right? You don't have it's not hinged on 4 points. So you're going to get that deflection of all the energy. So I find the HD tire carriers personally, they're heavier than OE, but I still don't think they're adequate enough for a big tire. And even the JLs, like I put one on. I'm not going to name the company, but I find they're all equally built, to be honest, like realistically across the board. But I could see when I open the gate to unhinge it, like from the locking mechanism, the body drop with a 37. So I had the HD carrier, which is fine, but just the leverage on the tire dropped the gate like at least almost a quarter inch, like
really
when I did it, and then it was a hard shut, right? So if you're, in my opinion, if you want to delete, great, they look cool, change it up, you can see stuff. But if you wanted to run a spare and you have a bigger spare, like 35s with the HD carrier, I still think on the newer ones the body metal is real thin, but I would run something that's like a frame mount bumper with the tire carrier off the bumper, right? Because then the chassis is going to take that load. And, just one that comes to mind that I do like the design of. I like the Ace one because it's like a turnbuckle and it's one motion. You just pull it and the gate follows the tire carrier and all the weight's off the corner of the bumper, right? So that would be my opinion of it. Like I like the way they look deleted too, right? And sometimes I like it with a full spare. Like we just change them all the time whenever we want to see, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Tim, what about yourself?
Yeah, I think Ryan nailed it. I delete most of my vehicles. My JK, I had a 37 on the back with HD carrier, but visibility-wise, they suck. I mean, so yeah, you've got a spare for in town in your highway driving, but backing out of the parking lot after you get groceries sucks. You're not seeing a whole lot back there. When I built my one-ton TJ on 40s, forever ago, we were thinking about building a carrier, but you hoist a 40-inch tire up on the back of a Jeep, and you're like, this is taking up a lot of real estate. It's hanging off the back. It's heavy as all hell, and you can't see shit past it. So we did delete on it. But like Ryan says, those aren't Jeeps that are primarily toys. So yeah, if you do expedition, overland, or maybe it's just your daily, you do want a tire on the back. For sure, mounting it to the bumper, like the Ace one Ryan mentioned, is definitely going to be the most robust setup. But get one that's got a turnbuckle on there, so you just pull the gate and it all opens in one motion. When you think about a swing out for a YJ, a TJ, like going back, they sucked. I mean, the swing out's its own arm. You got to get that out of the way and then open the gate. I had those. They suck. Like for day to day to just pop the trunk and throw some groceries or bags in the back. Yeah, they're a miserable setup. So look for one that's attached to the gate for sure. But yeah, I'm a fan of deleting my stuff. Like Ryan says, carry a plug kit for your tires, a means of filling it up, a power tank, a compressor, whatever. And for the most part, yeah, people got roadsides. I mean, if you get a flat and you drive in the city, I mean, it's nothing more than a call if you don't want to take that on yourself and someone's going to have you rocking again. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the delete kits, but it is just personal preference and choice like anything on these Jeeps.
Cool. Awesome. Well, actually, speaking of that, why don't we roll into the product of the week, because I think it's a good spot to sort of discuss those two. So we have two products. Both TMR and Combat have products that can help you out in this situation. Ryan, tell us about the spare tire delete kit that you have.
Yeah, so ours are all just like wire jet cut aluminum, and then we anodize them. And I got one just a prototype sitting here. So basically, this is raw, and then what we do is we fill the back with a stainless mesh. So that's kind of the look of that. That's a JL one.
The raw looks pretty good, actually.
And then yeah, we could coat it, like clear it or something like that. But we're just gonna go for the back inserts. I didn't actually. The other ones are anodizing, but like we were talking about a while back. But so we're just gonna offer a bunch of different colors. So the mesh background, just like whites and greens and purples and And then it'll be normal where it's just stainless. Does you see the purple in there? It looks black on my screen. But yeah, there's a ton of colors, like, you know, because everyone's complimenting and accenting their vehicles and stuff. So we just got to get that all sorted out and put on the website and stuff. And then I can show you. And it'll come with all like buttonhead Allen, stainless washers, and all the stuff you need to mount it. But I'll do this portable thing. So just to give you guys we've seen them before in the background of some of them. So that's kind of like the basic one, right? So just stainless background, anodized black. There's the Allen head buttons and stuff. So that's what you get, basic, and then we'll have it on the sites where you can pick and choose. We're going to run probably 10 colors to start, and then see what colors people like and go from there. But it'll be snappy. We're going to anodize ours gold just for fun, just to kind of see it on our demo Jeep. And I think I'll probably grab that prototype I just showed you and just send it out. But yeah, so there'll be primary black with either stainless in the back or a color selection.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's awesome. All right, cool. So those are for JK and JL, yeah?
Yeah, JK, JL, yeah.
Nice. Cool. Awesome. All right, cool. So we'll link those up below as well. So anyone wants to take a look, feel free. And then, Tim, you have a relocation bracket, which is, I think, super cool. So if people want to keep the spare, they can do so and then just use that license plate relocation bracket. Why don't you tell us about that? And I think you even have a JK delete kit as well. So tell us about your couple of products you have there.
Yeah, so that relocation bracket you mentioned, on the JL, the factory was nice enough to build the license plate mount into the bumper. So most people strip that bumper off, put an aftermarket on as one of the first mods, and it's all, fuck, where's my spare, where's my plate gonna go?
Yeah.
Some companies make some brackets to mount them. I mean, personal opinion, I don't love the look of them. So we made a mount that basically attaches to your spare tire. So if you have the spare tire in the factory spot, if you have an HD hinge carrier, aftermarket, whatever, our bracket basically replaces 2 of your lug nuts, like a machined aluminum lug. Bolts on there, it holds your plate. The other nice thing is on those, we make them so you can bolt on a Rigid Industries chase light. And that light's pretty slick. It functions as a brake light, a running light, a reverse light, and like a marker light. So it has a light shining down on your plate, so you don't have to worry about any legality issues. So a lot of customers will pick up that light because it fits our mounts, or I mean, you could bolt pretty much any reverse or LED light, or some guys use those light bolts where it's got the light and the bolt itself for your plate. Those are another option. But yeah, we came out with those for JL first, and then people asked for them for the JK. I didn't think it'd be a thing on the JK because the JK's got the tub mounted plate, or like, okay, it's very similar products. So yeah, we're offering that for JK and JL. And then for JK, we've got the spare tire delete. So if you want to remove the whole system, bolt it in place on the back of the gate there, ours locates your license plate in the same spot, and again uses a Rigid Industries chase light. You can add that yourself, and that's going to function as your marker light, reverse, and all the features I mentioned earlier. So we've got a pretty good YouTube video that shows the install of our spare tire delete for the JK. If you want to, people want to check that out, and we offer them in satin black powder coat for guys that just want a one and done bolt-on solution, or for people that want to custom powder coat them, custom paint them themselves. We also offer them in raw steel, so you got that option if you want to trick it out to match your Jeep or a color scheme you're after.
Awesome. Yeah, both very cool. All right, cool. Yeah, I think we've got between the two of you, we got that whole tire delete thing covered. Yeah, and going back to the HD carriers, I agree. I think with my JK, I have the HD carrier on. I think it's the same one you had on your JK. Did you have the Rugged Ridge one?
Yes, I had that one on a red Jeep. My red JK.
Yeah. So I have the same one. It's pretty awesome. I mean, mine, I put the 35s on just the stock, and I'm driving around here in the rattle, but 6 months later, it's rattling like crazy. So I'm like, all right, fuck, I might as well put this on. So when I took off my spare, it was just sitting on one bolt. Like the other two had cracked right off. Like, thank God I did it when I did. It would have just, because it was like actually like the bolts going into the mount itself that had cracked. So that's what the rattle was. It was just those bolts rattling around. And safety first, right? So, and I had the kit. I just was, I got the wheels done in September or something like that. And, winters around here, I'm like, fuck, I'm not doing this in the wintertime. And You know, so I just waited, right? And no, if you're going to go with a bigger tire, my 2 cents is make sure you get an HD carrier and put it on there, so you don't run into any issues. And
That's the key, like installing the parts.
yeah, that's it, right? Yep.
Half the battle right there.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely, right? No, well, like you said though, I mean, I've heard that the JL has considerably thinner,
Totally.
sheet metal or whatever it is there, so that they do bend considerably more, right? So actually, I saw a video. I don't remember who it was, but where they closed the gate from the side view, and you just saw it sort of reverberating, right, like the wheel itself, right? So, and I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, make sure if you're gonna go that way to get it installed. Don't just throw your 37s up on the back of your factory.
Oh, be dead.
All right. Okay. So thinking about the tire deletes, Ryan, what do we need to consider if we're not going to run a spare, but we want to go off road, right? So likely, if we're just going to the grocery store and stuff, it doesn't matter, right? But if we want to take the rig out and do a little off roading, what do we need to consider? Like, should we be bringing that spare?
Well, I mean, it depends on how you're getting up there too, right? Like, if we were running a delete and I was towing the vehicle up, and I needed my cabin space for whomever, like equipment or whatever, occupants, I put it in the pickup truck or strap to the trailer and bring it at least to the camp. You know what I mean? So if you have that luxury, fantastic. If not, like Tim was talking about, I said the tire kit, like a tire repair kit for sure. I didn't mention airing up, but Tim did, like a way to air it up, or at least someone on the trail that you're going with has the ability to has onboard air or something like that. Just those are kind of the main things. And then obviously, some tools that you can safely take the tire off too, right? If needed, right? So that would be what I would want. Even if you had the spare tire, you want to be able to safely get the truck off the ground or the Jeep off the ground and remove and install that tire, right? So, and then check it afterwards, like get it installed so you can get off the trail or whatever, or finish your day. But before you take that thing back on the highway, make sure that's torqued properly, or there's no, dirt in it or debris in the brake. You know what I mean? Like, get a good check over, right? But yeah, I would just do a tire repair kit. They're super cheap. They may be like $40-$50. They just go under the seat. You never even see them. You know what I mean? And then onboard air is great. A little bit more of an investment, or a power tank. There's still a couple bucks, but if you got a friend, just keep forming with him. He's going to buy stuff, right?
There you go. Right on. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, cool. Tim, and question. So if we're doing it sort of that way, do you sort of agree with that? Just tire repair kit?
Yeah, for sure. I carry a tire repair kit and a means. I mean, like Ryan said, if you're wheeling with the same people, I found in the past, just try and buddy up with people, and maybe it's, okay, you're going to have onboard air, or you're going to carry a spare, but I'm going to have a winch. So like, you and your best friend, if you're starting out and you're on a limited budget, you don't each need to buy a duplicate of everything. Maybe it's, I'm going to buy a winch, I'm going to buy all the tools, you buy the onboard air, you carry the spare that works on both our vehicles. And you partner up and kind of spread the load and spread the cost. I mean, ultimately, both your vehicles are lighter too because you're carrying less gear. So that's a way to tackle it. Like Ryan mentioned, if you're out with the same buddies all the time, it's a good way to do it.
Cool, awesome. And then what about if like someone's running bead locks and they like lose a bead? Obviously, it's different, right? Like the tire repair kit's not gonna, in my understanding, it won't. You know what I mean? No. Something to consider.
Yeah, if you lose a bead off the tire, that's a different game to get it popped back on there. So I feel if you're not going to run a spare, you should be familiar with how to remount your tire and how to fix that. And that's it with bead locks or without. It's kind of independent of that. The easiest solution, though, is, if you got a spare tire and you lose a bead on one, just swap it out for a spare. So, again, like Brian said, if you trailered it up and you got it at camp, if you got a buddy with one, those are kind of all options. But, you should know how to properly mount that tire yourself or with a friend and be able to fix it.
Or borrow a spare program.
Yeah.
Yeah, if someone else has a spare tire and the same dimensions, like overall height and the bolt pattern, obviously just pluck that one for the afternoon or whatever, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah, there's good ways around it for sure.
Right on. Okay, cool. I love all that when people lose the beads, though. You watch them like with the lighter fluid.
Yeah. That's exciting. It gets real hot for a second too.
Yeah. Actually, I think did I see a video? I think of you, Ryan, doing that. No, on the trail.
Oh, I don't know. Probably somebody's
somewhere.
probably. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Another big consideration is something to look into and think of how you wheel. If you do a lot of events will say a spare tire is a requirement. That's
Good
something
point.
to keep in mind. I mean, different events have different levels of how strict they are. I mean, if you're prepared, you got a tire kit, and like literally like you tell them when you show up, like, I'll drive out of my Ram, I don't give a fuck. There's all different people at different levels, right? So some people are, yeah, I'll wreck my wheel, I'll get off the trail, do what it takes. Where some people are like, oh no shit, like that thing's got to stay mint, we got to swap in my spare.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you are hitting a lot of events, you might want to look at their checklist or tech list just to make sure you're compliant. It sucks to travel a long distance to an event, and maybe all you needed to do was throw your spare in the back of the Jeep to get it there and then dump it at camp, not necessarily take it on the whole trail. But that's just something to investigate maybe before you make a decision on which setup is best for you.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. I assume parks might even have the same sort of requirements, depending on the park.
Yeah, it's totally probably possible. Yeah, I would just, definitely, Tim said, like, investigate that before you go and invest the time and effort.
Yeah, okay,
Or
cool.
for a fee, right? You're going to pay to go to some of these events. You're not going to get your money back, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. No, you're right. Yeah, good point. Okay, awesome. Another question is, what about guys who upgrade to, let's say they go to 35s, they're running, let's say a JK, right? So comes with the stock, whatever it is, 28s or whatever. But they upgrade to 35s, but they keep that stock on the back and they just put a cover on it, a stock wheel.
Can't use that spare.
Yeah, is that thing gonna get them out?
No, of no use to you with a 4-wheel drive.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I always wonder that, because I'm like, I don't, might as well just delete it, because I didn't think it would work.
Yeah. I'd delete it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So if that's your setup, don't take it wheeling and think that you're going to save the day on that thing. Fair assumption?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, did I miss anything? Anything else we need to add when it comes to this? I know it's just sort of a little bit light as a follow-up to our last, marathon couple of shows. So anything I missed? Anything we should keep in mind when it comes to this stuff?
Yeah, if you're going to, even just for safety, just check the torque. If you're going to check your wheels, to check that spare torque too, just in case, because it's going to get a lot of vibration and stuff like that. For the 3 seconds it's going to take to check those 3 lug nuts, I would just give them a check,
Yeah.
And don't over torque those. Just use the same stuff you do your wheels and torque them to the same value as your wheels. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's really.
Just a little thing I could think of though, because people probably just walk right around and do the tires on the Jeep. Potentially, I just figured I'd shout it out.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, because I don't think it'd be something I would think about, when I'm checking the torque on the wheels, right? So when I upgraded to the 35s, obviously I checked it, whatever it was, a couple of weeks later. I don't think I looked at the spare, so.
Yeah, I could see how you would just, step over it, but that tire comes off if it's moving, or if it comes off, it's on the back, goes through somebody's windshield or something. It's going to pick up speed once it hits the ground regardless, so. Yeah, it'd be just another safety thing for sure.
Sure, yeah. Well, I think that's probably another thing to consider too. If you are wheeling and you've got that giant, like a 35, 37, whatever on the back, I mean, your angles, right? Like that tire gets pretty big, and then if you're running one of those bumper mounted, it starts to get out further and further, so that's going to affect your angles too, no?
Well, yeah, just to transfer weight, right? Sometimes, if you're going up, it's going to be a hindrance. If you're going down, it might help you. You know what I mean? It just depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I just think where they're going up and they drag the spare along.
Oh, yeah. Bend their tailgate right out and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so we do have a couple questions. Okay, so this one's a question maybe for both of you, but let's start, Ryan, with you. So this is from JK Freak. He says, I have a JKU and would love if they came up with a bracket to mount your spare in the trunk. A 35 fits in there, no problem, even with the seats folded up, but I don't like the idea of having a loose tire sitting in there. Do either of you carry such a product, or do you know of something that I might be able to pick up and do it myself? So I guess that's some sort of bracket that'll hold the spare in place, I guess, when you're wheeling. You just throw the wheel in the back and then, or do you just typically, Ryan, any suggestions or even tools that you would suggest to use? I understand what he's saying. Like if you're going wheeling, you don't want that thing bouncing around the back, I guess.
Well, I mean, the quick and dirty way, like the non-official way, you just ratchet strap it in there. You know what I mean? Just tie it down. Like there's, depends what you want to do, right? Because there's the child security straps that are in the back. Right. You want to utilize those and find another anchor, another point, and just cross a couple straps and lock it in there. We don't make a product personally yet for that. We haven't really heard that demand even regularly. I know people make custom like tubes and stick them back there and stuff. And you can make there's like a truck bed style mount that you could put in there and you'd fasten through the floor. I probably played it up a little bit because it's going to leverage in there too against body metal. So I'd probably put some footings on there or something, but we don't have anything. I don't know if Tim's got some kind of universal tire mount kit or not, but it's not a bad idea. We just hadn't have calls for it. Again, like once you start putting that tire in there, it could reduce some visibility too. And a lot of people like the cargo space, but I mean, I don't even think it would only work for a 4-door out of the top of my head, regardless, unless you want to omit that rear seat period out of the 2-door. But it'd be the same idea. Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with it, but I don't have anything particularly. And if you want something that's not permanent, or at least semi-permanent, you'd have the nut and bolt it. You could try like a quick release pin, like I'm just spitballing here, but you're going to get that noise, right? You're going to have that. It's going to be, so if you're going to have a tire bouncing in there, metal on metal, if you did like some kind of sleeve for the bracket, but you'd be nutting and bolting it, or if you just want to go easy and just ratchet strap it for the ever amount of 4-wheeling trips you make in a year, you know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
Kind of depends on what you get.
Fair enough. Tim, is that sort of the same thing? Just typically just strap it in there?
Yeah, I see most people strap it in there. I get where he's coming from. It'd be a good idea to have a more solid mount. I don't make a vehicle-specific product for that. We make tire wheel mount plates, so it's basically a disc with your tire bolt pattern in it. It's for guys building their own spare tire carriers. But, I mean, he could bolt one of those to the tire, run a post off of that, and then make like a good-sized footing, like Ryan's saying, on the floor to bolt that to the sheet metal, and then lay the tire down flat. So, I mean, if he can weld, or if he's got a buddy that can weld, I think you're like $15 to get one of those plates from me, and you're probably another 15 or 20 bucks in steel. I mean, $50 in an afternoon, you'd have that solved if you have some fabrication skills. But no, I haven't seen an off-the-shelf product per se. But yeah, that'd be pretty easy to fabricate. Yeah. I think it's a good idea for product. I mean, it'd be a solid mount. I mean, you don't have to worry about rolling over, the thing flopping out would be my concern. I mean, that thing's like a weapon back there, the size and weight of it, right? So yeah, I think that's a good idea for something to custom fab up.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's actually good thinking, right? Yeah. Afternoon and a little welding, and yeah, it looked pretty sick too.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Cool. So Neil says he has a JL and he wants to remove the spare until he can get the money to upgrade all 5 of his wheels. It's his first Jeep with a rear-facing camera. Does removing the spare tire mean that he has to consider wires or electrical, or is it just pretty easy to move around? Tim, not sure. I'm sure you have some sort of product, but I don't know if you have any hands-on experience. It
depends on the mount you buy. A lot of them are camera compatible, so they're going to retain that. Some of them would remove it or delete it, but if you want to retain that, yeah, just look for a product that's got that feature built into it. I know on our JL one that we're working on, it'll hold the camera, but not everyone's got a camera, not everybody cares for it. So I mean, yeah, if that's a product you want, just make sure you do your research up front before you buy a version of it and make sure it's suitable with the camera. Some companies also move the camera, claim they don't move the camera. I mean,
change the angle or something. I've seen a lot of those, right? Like it's a better angle.
I see lots of like debate and some silly shit with that. Like ours is in the identical spot as factory, but it's not because you've technically spaced out or moved it. So yeah, just go with a brand you trust and maybe trust some fellow Jeepers for reviews, or if there's someone in a local Jeep club or that's got one, and hop in the seat, ask if you can take a look at how theirs is set up, and you can get a real look at what that camera projects and sees, because I'm sure there's like any product, there's great out there, but there's equally number of bad products as well.
Cool. Yeah. And Ryan, I assume you've done it, right? So is it fairly straightforward, or?
Yeah, no, it's straightforward. It depends. I think all the JLs come with the backup camera now. I know it was more, but I'm pretty sure new ones come with a camera. So we have a camera mount coming out for that's modular to that plate. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And it's not really that hard to do. It's only a couple wires or a connector, and it really depends on that guy, like what he wants, right? Or did he say he had a camera?
Yeah, he's got a camera. Yeah, it's his first time doing it with a camera. I think it's just a question of, because it's his first time doing it with a camera, is it just a question of just sort of moving it, or do you have to like rewire it, or? Yeah.
No, he should be okay. If you need more wiring, there's usually a little bit you can steal from inside the gate. You know what I mean? Like it's probably got a little clip, plastic clip. You can probably just omit a clip or like relocate it and just give you a little more room if that's something you needed. But like Tim was saying, if you get one that's already designed for it, they're going to give you some instructions and some how-tos, and you just follow those steps and away you go. Shouldn't be too hard for them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's I was just thinking, because one of the reasons I didn't go with the full delete on mine was honestly just time, right? So I had wanted to originally, or I considered doing a delete, but I wanted to put the license plate over there and just relocate it. But part of that, then with the JK being tub mounted, to get the license plate light on there, you have to basically, pull all the wires out, move it over there, and do all that shit. So, so something to consider, I guess, if you have a JK is if you're looking to do the delete and you want to relocate the license plate, then you are going to have to play with the wires a little bit. I don't think it's rocket science. It's just a little bit time consuming, right? Like there's lots of YouTube videos on it, but it might take a couple of hours to get her done.
Yeah, it depends how clean you want it to look too, right? So.
Right. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, that was it for tire deletes and HD tire carriers. I really appreciate it. I'm sure lots of people got lots of information from that. If anyone has a question about this topic, something that we missed, again, text us. So text us at 176-209-3576. If you want to find it, you can find it on the Jeep Beef Instagram page. We'll put it below. We'll try to put that number all over the place. I really think that text messaging is going to make it a lot easier for us to sort of interact together. A little bit more one-on-one than email. So we also do, of course, have email at podcasts@gbeef.com. Feel free to send your questions there as well, or hit any of us up on social media. Of course, we've got TMR Customs and TMR Racing, right? And TMR Builds, correct?
Yeah. The TMR Builds was a new one we did just because I get lots of customers ask us specifics on our vehicle projects. So I just thought that was one I could dump photos related to our project builds on there and kind of keep that tight. Whereas the regular TMR Custom social media feeds a lot of new products and behind the scenes stuff. How we do things around the shop and production work. So yeah, that one, the builds one's something new just to kind of feature our vehicle builds that we roll out.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll link those up as well. I think that's a great idea. And then we'll do the same thing. So we've got Combat. I know you've got a whole bunch of social media, Ryan.
Yeah. So it's just like Combat 4x4, and then that's on Instagram, and we got Combat 4x4 on the Facebook page, and then I think it's Combat Offroad on the YouTube channel for us, and that's kind of it. And you've got to email us directly, just info@combat4x4.com.
There you go.
And that's our site, combat4x4.com. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, great. So lots of ways to get in touch with us. Try any of those channels. We'll make sure that if you have a question about this specifically, we'll circle back. And if you have a question about anything else, send them in. And if there's a show topic, we'll make sure to get those questions answered. So once again, thanks a lot. I appreciate you all joining us. Ryan, what do you got going on over the next 7 days? Anything spectacular, or just the sort of day-to-day grind, man? Trying to take over the world.
There'll be some grinding, but we're going to I'm going to polish up my arms so we can stick them in the anodizer and make them shiny. Nice. And that kind of stuff. Just kind of get that JL back. It was a bittersweet moment. It works as it's together, and then I tore it apart so we can put some colors to it and paint up all the junk we did under there and all the welding and stuff. So I want to get that thing going, and then so we can get it out and go for a rip and see how it does. And regular stuff like that. I want to we're going to work on some rock sliders, and then our Gladiator hopefully will come soon, and then work on some components for it too.
Nice.
And just keep going, just plugging away, making sure everyone's copacetic here,
Nice. Awesome. Right on. Tim, what? How about yourself? I know, like you said, you were getting ready for the race coming up.
Yeah. So yeah, just a lot of prep for that. And then in terms of the Jeep stuff, I know we were all talking before the show about supply chain issues. I'm waiting on a bracket to come in. For my red Jeep, we're putting a new set of bumpers, front and rear on it with a spare tire delete on it just to change the look. So yeah, we're waiting on some aftermarket brackets to come in for some fog light mounting. I mean, no one's fault, it just is what it is. There's supply chain issues everywhere. So I mean, if you're ordering aftermarket parts, please try and be patient with everyone. None of this stuff's mission critical. I mean, I always joke, like I had a joke with one of our shock suppliers before, and they always said like customers act like the product's like life-saving medicine, and it's like it's all for fun. I mean, you can upgrade your vehicle, it's badass, but I mean, remember it's for fun, and so just try and take it easy on people, and yeah, you got to have realistic expectations of supply chain things. So yeah, once those brackets are in, we'll have bumpers, lift, and delete done on that red JK, and then get it out of the way, and then do same deal, lift, tires, wheels for the Gladiator. So yeah, just waiting for parts to slowly trickle in from some outside vendors, and then we'll be all set.
Nice, that's awesome. All right, awesome. Well, that sounds like fun. I'm just going to be sitting here waiting impatiently for the JL to show up. I can't imagine the guy who told me. I feel like I text him every 5 minutes. What's going on, man? Where are we at? He's probably, Ryan, like you said, he's probably sitting there. He's just like, fuck this guy. I'm gonna wait 30 days.
Yeah, he's at your house right now. He's like, fuck you. I'm not even gonna give it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you're on auto response. He just gives you an auto response text. He doesn't even look at it anymore.
Right? That's it, exactly.
The $200 that poor bastard made is right. Long gone. Fuck, long gone, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, guys, I really appreciate it. Stay safe, and I guess we'll see you next week.